Join us now in studio on that red-hot issue of water charges. Paul Murphey, to you first. I guess you're tapping in, pardon the pun, to a groundswell of public anger on these water charges. How do you see Saturday playing out, and ultimately what's the objective?
Yeah, on Saturday now, at this stage, we're up to nearly 90 protests. I think there'll be well over 100, perhaps 150 protests right across the country. I think we will see over 100,000 people on the streets, bigger even than what happened 3 weeks previously. And really what you have now, it's a movement from below that's very, very significant. And people should just look. I mean, the government has been in disarray for the last 2.5 weeks because of the protest and because of the by-election results. And so think of what we can do if we get huge numbers on the streets again this Saturday.
I want to remind people about something you would have seen about 3 years ago. An ad in the national newspapers saying, look what Fine Gael have in store for you, every little hurts. An ad by the Labour Party that set out all the bad things that Fine Gael would do if there was a single-party government, if Labour wasn't sent in to protect the interests of working-class people. Every single one of these things, every one of these promises have been broken by the Labour Party, including within it is a threat that Fine Gael would bring in a €238 per annum water tax. But people right across this city and right across the country are rising up in reality against these charges. In Edenmore, in Coolock, in Whitechurch, in Crumlin, in Drimnagh, in Cork, in Limerick, big meetings, 300 people at street meetings. We hadn't had street meetings in this country up until a few months ago, and massive meetings of people coming together to resist, to send a clear message to Irish Water. So it's absolutely clear that there's going to be a fight on this issue, and there'll be a fight on this issue because people firstly cannot afford to pay. Secondly, because people know that even if they do pay, the money is going again to the bondholders, 8 billion this year, 8.5 billion next year, because it's part of a process of privatisation that will lead to greyhound happening within the water industry, with the likes of Veolia or Suez or Thames taking over, and because it gets to the heart of the lie that is all of the talk of recovery, any of the talk of tax cuts, because the water charges will more than wipe out any tax cuts given. What it is a recovery for an elite, for a 1%, paid for by the continued robbery of ordinary people, paid for by the water charges, for the likes of John Tierney, for the consultants, for the bondholders.